On the distant planet Zornius, where technology and nature intertwined in harmony, lived four inseparable alien friends: Zan, Lear, Fen, and Kai. They loved exploring worlds and embarking on various adventures. One day, during another expedition, they found a strange metal box, which turned out to be a gaming console that had fallen from some lost spaceship. That evening, gathered together, they decided to turn on the device and see what it was. As soon as the console booted up, the screen lit up with bright flashes, and they were instantly sucked into the game. Upon awakening, they found themselves in the bodies of game characters, with stats visible on strange screens before them. They were surrounded by a jungle island, full of dangers and mysteries. The screens displayed their game names, health levels, strength, and other attributes. They were bewildered, but realized that the only way out was to find a way back to their world. Without wasting time, the friends began exploring the jungle for clues. Soon they stumbled upon a village where the locals told them that to return to the real world, they needed to find a magic staff hidden on the island's highest mountain. Determined not to delay, the friends set off. The road was tough and full of dangers: wild beasts, deep ravines, and cunning traps. Upon reaching the mountain's base, they noticed that a criminal group was also hunting for the staff. Seeing their camp, the friends realized that the task would not be easy. They would not only have to find the staff, but also outwit the enemies. Zan, Lear, Fen, and Kai decided to act smartly. They chose nighttime for their operation. Spotting a lone guard, they knocked him out and took his uniform. Kai, the most agile and stealthy among them, went on a reconnaissance mission and found an old work uniform, which he brought back to his friends. Disguised in the enemy's attire, they began cautiously making their way to the bandits' lair. Eventually, they found the staff. Next to it, they discovered documents stating that the staff needed to be taken to the mountain's summit and inserted into a statue. At that moment, an alarm suddenly sounded. The enemies had noticed the guard's disappearance and started searching for the intruders. The friends realized they needed to run to the mountain's peak urgently. They had a map of all the excavations, so they knew where to go. However, the bandits had barricaded the exit, and 5 enemies were approaching from behind. They understood that a fight was inevitable. Zan, Lear, Fen, and Kai gritted their teeth and prepared for battle. The enemy was closing in, and there was no time for hesitation. Lear, with his strength and agility, was the first to charge at the foes, delivering quick and precise blows. Despite his injury, Fen supported his comrades from afar, using a bow he had found. Kai, the fastest and most agile, moved between enemies, distracting them and creating false targets. Zan, their leader, held the defense and coordinated the group's actions. The battle was intense and fierce. Cries and sounds of strikes echoed through the surroundings. Finally, they managed to break through the enemies and continue their ascent. However, the foes were not far behind. They began a pursuit. The friends raced through the dense jungle thickets, hearing the shouts and footsteps of their pursuers behind them. Every step could be their last, but they knew they couldn't stop. Kai used his knowledge of the vegetation to find the safest routes. Lear, with his incredible strength, cleared the path through dense undergrowth, helping the others move faster. Despite his injury, Fen kept up with his comrades. Zan, with the map in hand, guided them towards the summit. Soon they reached a narrow ravine where they could delay the enemies. Using their strength and agility, they rolled down several rocks to slow down their pursuers. When the friends reached the mountain's midpoint, a new danger emerged: wild beasts. The creatures growled and approached, ready to attack. The friends quickly crafted torches and began to ward off the beasts, moving forward. Zan, with his leadership qualities, kept the group together and coordinated their actions. Kai, with his agility, moved around, distracting the beasts and steering them away. Behind them, The shouts of pursuers were still heard. Suddenly, the beasts, sensing a new threat, rushed towards the bandits. This gave the friends some time to catch their breath and continue their ascent. At dawn, exhausted and battered, they reached the mountain's peak. Before them stood the statue where the staff needed to be inserted. As they began placing the staff, 2 bandits approached, and Kai immediately engaged in battle. Lear, using his strength, struck one of the enemies with a powerful blow. Kai, with his agility and dexterity, dodged the attacks of the second bandit and delivered a crushing strike. Meanwhile, Zan and Fen, despite their fatigue and injuries, continued to place the staff. They knew that every moment counted. As soon as the staff was in place, the world around them began to blur. The last thing they saw before returning to the real world were the stunned faces of the bandits. Returning home, the friends realized the danger they had faced. They decided to destroy the console forever so no one else would fall into this trap. As if bidding farewell to yet another adventure, they gathered together and shattered the console into small pieces, which they then burned in a safe place. Back home, they understood that together they could overcome any challenge. This experience became an important lesson for them about courage, friendship, and mutual support. And although they knew new adventures awaited them, they were ready for them because they knew. Together, they could do anything.